The year before I was born, my family lost our oldest son, who was only 9 years old. That same year, my cousin passed away from cancer, and she was only 13. Naturally, I started visiting cemeteries from a young age. I came to understand that death was inevitable, and sometimes unexpected and sudden. And I wondered if I would make it past 9.
Give me all your love now, 'cause for all we know, we might be dead by tomorrow.
It's been 5 years since I moved overseas and visited my brother, but I noticed that my new neighborhood is surrounded by acres of cemeteries and decided to re-explore a feeling I was once very familiar with. I visited each cemetery in my area and interviewed some people along the way to see how their lives are impacted when they're reminded of death.
Can't go on wasting my time, adding scars to my heart, 'cause all I hear is I'm not ready now.
This is our parents and our grandparents and our uncle.
This is our other family. This is the family thing, yeah.
For me personally, I definitely think that it's a better place.
Me too, but I'm not ready to go.
I think that there are a lot of places you can go when you die. My grandmother and grandfather died, but they're always around me. They're always with me. And I think that that's because they haven't completed their part. I believe that we are this everlasting, it's not even that I believe it, it's that I know it, that we are this everlasting soul. It's so funny that we fear things like death. It's not death that we fear, it's not fulfilling our purpose in time before we leave in this life.
My sister lost her husband. When she feel better, she wanna feel better. She come and she put the water, the flower, and when she go home, she feel better. That's for them. For their how you say, who die, they don't need it. They don't need the flower. They don't need decoration. They don't need nothing because they sleep. Like we. Last night I went sleep and I don't know nothing. Then when I wake up, I know I am alive, that I'm not going to feel sad and so worried and scared. Everybody's scared of the death. But if you're a good person, there's nothing to worry. You love God, why you worry?
I was mostly interested in hearing what people who work at cemeteries had to say, since they get reminded of death every day.
I do go home sometimes stressed out, depending, like especially if I bury like a young person, a baby, a teenager. Yeah, it could hit us once in a while, all of us actually. Especially if we knew the person, or if the mother or the father's crying of the deceased person. Yeah, it does hit us sometimes, but we gotta maintain our composure and just keep going about life.
It doesn't really bother me. I'm kind of used to it. We're so used to it, we deal with it every day.
What do you think life after death looks like?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Maybe we're all black crows. Because they're in here all the time. Where did it come from?
That's why we joke so much. We deal with, you see sad moments all day, so you gotta laugh. If not, you take it home with you. So you laugh, forget about it, go home, do life, come back to work the same day.
Danny, who's been working at this cemetery for the past 12 years, took me on a tour and highlighted some parts of the cemetery, like the graveyard of former Vice President Hobart, famous race car driver Ted Horn, Ryle, who was a famous silk manufacturer in the 1800s, and this unusual headstone brought from the mountains. He then told me about an experience he had on his first day working here.
I was cutting grass. I looked this way. I looked at the dress. That dress was moving. So I called my boss. I said, look, listen, it's going to sound crazy, but I need to tell you something. I don't think I'm going to keep working here anymore. He said, hey, what's wrong? I was like, look, listen, I don't know if it's because the heat that day, but I seen that dress moving and the statue moving like real person. And he said, well, let's go to the statue, shake the statue's hand. And I did that, and absolutely never bothered me ever again. This is my first boss. He's buried here. And he hired me. A couple of weeks later, I would say, he passed away. He find his stone.
I was very surprised to find out that the former boss of the cemetery had a smaller headstone than all the other ones I've seen before. It got me to think that maybe when you're reminded of death every day for many years, you start to take materialistic things in life less seriously and become lighthearted. Overall, I feel like I accomplished my goal to remind myself that life is a gift. We all have our own beliefs on life and death, but I learned from the people I met on this journey that as much as death is scary and sad, the more accepting you are of it, the more you get to enjoy the little moments in life.